everybody. Welcome to the third episode of Diego Salotto. Today we have Isa with us, and I know sometimes, or probably most of the time, in the last previous episode, it has been a moment for us to share stories and have been funny. It comes pretty natural for me. Today, again with Isa, we're gonna get through a very important story. It is a story of fighting. It is a story of, as the French say, renaissance.
Oh, renaissance!
Yeah,
yes.
Oh, renaissance. Well done, Isa. And so let's cut out because I don't think I really have anything interesting to say compared to what Isa is going to say to us. Isa, present yourself. Let us know your story, please.
Okay, so I'm originally from Poland, and I came to London after already having spent some time working in Italy, doing various things. And I also, before going to Italy, I spent a couple of years teaching English in primary schools in Poland.
In Poland, okay.
So I was qualified as a teacher. Okay,
cool.
And then I found a way of going to Italy for summertime and earning some money, just washing dishes and cleaning
Whatever
places.
We need to do to live,
yeah,
to
whatever,
survive,
yeah, exactly.
Whatever it takes.
For me, it was a gateway to learning the culture, traveling and learning the language. And then I had an opportunity. My friend who I met in Italy was working as an au pair in London.
All right.
And she wanted to go back to Poland to do a degree. So she called me and said, would you like to come in and take over from me in their family? Right. And I literally just came back from Italy 7 days earlier. I was like, yes, okay, let's go. Good. So I came to London. I spent about, if I remember correctly, about 9 months as an au pair. I absolutely hated London after Italy. Headache all the time. I couldn't stand the food. I just wanted, oh God, what have I done? I didn't have to tell you about this.
No, I know. I absolutely know what you mean. It is hard, especially at the beginning. It's very, very hard for us that we used to a different weather, different food.
I had a headache constantly. It was like, because I came around September, so it was also But anyway, so...
I think it's also related to the stress of moving, the big change in life, right?
Exactly.
It's not just about the food and the weather, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. Keep going, please.
So I finished those 9 months, went back to Italy to work again, and then I spent some time there working as a holiday rep, right? So tourists from Poland would be coming, and I would be staying in the same place for 3 months. So the groups would be changing.
Yeah. And you will guide them.
Exactly.
Through London. Okay.
No, that's what going back to Italy. That was in Italy.
Right. Oh yeah. Sorry.
And then I decided to come back here, and an Italian friend that I made here helped me get a ticket, and I decided to come in here and find work. And as a lot of people in London, that was 22 years ago.
22.
So so I started working in an Italian restaurant. So restaurant business, different offices, different places.
Welcome to my club.
There we go.
Think all of us, we started from
Exactly. So the usual, you do anything that gives you money, experience, whatnot.
Well, at least London is giving you, it gives out that opportunity, right?
A lot of
opportunities. You come here and boom, and you work. Very, very good.
And that's how I found my most recent job. I've been in the same job for 17 years. So
me
same
too.
Same office.
Same office.
Okay. So I, in the end, long story short, qualified as an accountant. So I started working as an accountant for consultancy office in the city. And I was pretty happy there for the first few years. And then, I don't know how, I think because my sister did the PT qualifications.
All right.
I was doing a course, and I was like, maybe.
Let me do it.
So I started training to become a PT.
All right.
And the day of my last practical exam, I woke up in the morning and my back just went. Okay.
Your back.
My back.
Your
lower back.
Your lower back.
And I had to postpone everything. In the end, I had to go through a surgery. For 3 months, I was just lying on the floor. I couldn't move.
What happened?
Disc.
Yeah. All right.
So
that day?
Literally that day.
All right.
I just woke up and that just happened.
Lucky life.
exactly. So at least I was, I was employed in the office, so that was all okay. I had income and I could still, But anyway, so I had to kind of postpone finishing this for probably almost a year, right?
So it took like a year for you to heal.
Because the surgery and yes.
All right, cool.
It was more after the surgery. It wasn't even like pain. It was just a
mechanical problem.
Mechanical problem, and also the fear. Because it was so bad. I had to be on such strong painkillers. Then every movement you start walking like a robot because you're trying to protect yourself and you don't trust your body again, right? So that was that. Then I finished my course, but by that point I said to myself, I don't want to work as a PT. That's not my thing. But I was taking spin classes as a rehab.
All right.
Right?
For you for your lower back.
And then during that course, I met a couple of friends, made a couple of friends. And one of the girls who I kept in touch with, she said, why don't you do a spin module and start teaching that? To become an instructor. Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, it's just half a day or something.
Whatever.
I've done that. And obviously, now we need to start teaching. I was like, oh my God, class, no, I don't have the exam, I don't know,
you're just scared.
Yes, and then one of my friends was teaching at Nuffield in Southside, and she was going for Christmas, she was going home abroad,
right.
And she said, she didn't ask, she said, you're teaching for me.
Yeah.
And I had to go
and sometimes this is the best thing, You're not ready, someone says you just go and do it, and you're like, you go and do it, I gotta go. And then you did it.
Exactly.
All right.
And also because it was Christmas, there weren't that many people, so it wasn't that stressful. Do you know what I mean? So it was kind of a good entry thing.
Was okay.
And that's how it began. And it was just madness. I just loved it. I started taking, as you know, at the beginning when you're a group exercise instructor, you take any class, anytime, anywhere.
Whatever.
6 a.m. in the Canary Wharf, waking up at
10,
4. It's fine. It's okay.
Whatever.
So I made a point to become the best that I could. So I did all the certifications for all possible bikes, just because I loved it and I wanted to go whichever gym I would go to. I wanted to know how to ride that bike, what to do. Do you know what I mean? So it became my total passion, and I was doing that. So that was 2012 when I started teaching. Right. I don't know how I was doing this. I was still working full time and I had 14 spins a week.
No, I totally understand. This is passion. There's nothing, you're telling nothing new to me
at
all. I'm still working 9 to 10 and doing this and doing my online coaching and doing other business.
Right.
Am I a superhero? No, I'm not. No. It's just the drive. I just want to do it. And when you like something, you always find a way.
Yes. You can push. You can push.
So Lisa, sorry if I interrupt you.
That's okay.
So this is just your overview in your life, all right? I would love to connect the topic that we're going to discuss now. And I want you, please, to put this topic exactly on all the moments that you told me right now. So I moved to Italy. I moved from Poland. I was already ill. I was not. When I discovered what happened to my body, if it's okay for you.
Yes, that's fine.
Please.
So I was working office work. I was also a sports massage therapist and spin instructor by that point. So and then comes 2018.
2018.
Okay.
So
I've been already teaching for 6 years. 2018, doing all my classes, and I go to teach my lunchtime class. I had a year and a half before that was a very stressful period at work. There was a lot of stress, a lot of crying, a lot of you were just saying that you can push when you're passionate about something, and your body can withstand a lot. But there will come a point that
we're not superhero. That's what I said.
If you push it a bit too far, at some point it's going to say no. Okay, but I was having no issues as such with anything, nothing. I noticed a little bit thing that I started being allergic to stuff like in the air, when I never had any allergies against anything. Yeah, but I was thinking maybe it's just after all years of living in London, pollution and stuff. So 2018, I go to teach my lunchtime class, and I haven't taken a shower after the class, and I dropped my shampoo, and I had my one hand here washing my hair, and I dropped my shampoo bottle. I picked it up, And as my hand was coming back, I kind of brushed against my breast. I'm thinking, what's this? And I started kind of checking, and there was like a marble size thing sticking out, lump, right? I was like, what the hell is this? And it felt really hard, literally like a stone.
It's hard.
Yeah, and I was like, you start going, what the hell? Then at the same time, I need to go back to the office. My lunchtime is finished. So I kind of got scared, got dressed. On the way to the office, I called my friend and I said, listen, I found something weird. I don't know what it is. I need to see a doctor. When I got to the office, I was working with another girl. I closed the door, locked it, and I was like, can you feel it? Is it just me going crazy or is something there? And she said, well, I can see it. So I called the GP.
You can see also.
Yeah.
So
you could only see it though. So when I called the GP, I made an appointment the next day, straight away. Obviously. I know that some people, when they see something or they prefer to ignore it or,
No,
with me, it's
better
like...
to check straight away. Better to check straight away. Yes.
So the next day I go to the GP in the morning.
Sorry.
Yes, go.
Check straight away. Please.
Yes. Please. Check and follow up with, work out what it is.
Yes.
So the next day I go to the GP, and it was funny because I explained to her what I found, but when I then, got ready for the examination, she couldn't find it and I couldn't find it. And I was like, maybe it's just me going crazy. But it had, because another thing is like with breast examinations, you forget that you can check in your seated position or standing, and then you also have to get your arm in different positions. Exactly, because mine was only visible, you can feel it, when I really extended my arm over, because it was underneath. Underneath. It wasn't on the breast, it was like on the, so it was right underneath it. So I was hoping she was going to say, oh yeah, I can feel it, but it's nothing. And then she goes, oh, there's an urgent referral. Okay. So I was like, and then...
Fuck my life.
And then you go home and thinking, I teach 14 classes a week, right? Most of them in the middle of the... I take a shower, I sweat a lot, so I have to take a shower after each class,
you have
right?
to.
And I'm thinking, how did I not feel it before? How come it can be so big and I feel it now only? But that's the thing, when you... that's another word of advice, ladies. If you use like a sponge when you take a shower, you won't feel it.
Oh, all right.
You have to actually...
touch your body.
Take some
feel
time
your
and
body.
touch your tissue and see it.
Well, you know what? Sorry if I interrupt.
Yeah.
In Italy, we have this lovely advertise in the TV. It used to, I don't know when it was, a few years ago, and it was literally, I don't know if it was an advertiser, it was just an educational video or whatever, and it was teaching and telling women, when you take a shower, check.
Yeah.
Check yourself.
It takes literally, you don't have to consciously think about it. But you should check it.
Yes.
You
Sorry,
check yourself.
you were saying, so you went to the GP.
So I went to GP,
GP
sent urgent referral. You're going to get a letter within 2 weeks from NHS. So you're going to go and have everything checked. But after about a week, I still didn't get a letter. And, NHS generally is very good for cancer, especially something urgent. But I'm in that privileged position that I've got private health insurance. So I was like,
you went for
I can't wait. I can't live because it was constantly
every
day from that point on. Every time I was getting dressed in the office, I kept checking: is it still there?
Is it bigger?
Literally, right? So I went private, and all the testing was done very quickly, ultrasounds and stuff. So we went when I had an ultrasound done. The face of the technician was a bit funny as well, and then she said to me, well, yes, obviously there's this that you could see and feel. There are a couple of more that you couldn't see or feel because they're so deep.
Okay.
And there is more stuff on the other side.
On the other side too?
But it's not like a lump, it's like a bigger tumor that's inside. It's a different type of tumor, okay?
So all of them, they were all different?
Basically, I was riddled with that stuff, okay?
All right.
So I was like... Okay, so more tests followed, blah, blah, blah. And then my surgeon says, right, first of all, obviously, after all the tests, you go for the action, because you still don't have anything confirmed, right? This may be just something, it might not be malignant, it might just be some kind of thing.
Whatever.
So you have to do the biopsies, blah, blah, blah. And then me and my sister went for the meeting when he would tell you is this the C word? Is this cancer or not? And I did have a feeling that it was. But when we sat down there and he said, well, I have to unfortunately confirm it is breast cancer.
Breast cancer.
There comes another tip if anyone is listening. If you go for anything like that, even if you think there's going to be nothing, if you're confident it's not going to be cancer, take someone with you, okay, to that conversation. Because if it is something, I just remembered him saying it's cancer. And from then on, I could see his mouth moving and my brain was not taking anything else.
No.
Whatever he was trying to outline, plan,
like...
I just looked at my sister to decide and I said, can you please take notes? Because even though I was sitting as close to him as I'm sitting to you, I looked at my sister and I said, I can't hear what, I don't understand what he's saying. Can you just please take notes?
And you are an English teacher, right?
Yeah, but it was basically, it wasn't even that. It was literally,
yeah, you got blind.
As soon as I heard cancer, there was nothing else.
Such a big word, full of power, right?
Exactly.
It's such a big word. Sometimes I think power, words can kill people.
Yeah.
You don't really need a knife or a gun to kill someone, because you can kill someone even by saying something that is not nice. In this case, obviously, the doctor was not trying to say something not nice to you, but the power of the words is unbelievable.
And you know, for an average person who hasn't had any history of cancer, or no one in the family or whatnot, you know, when someone says, what comes to mind when you say cancer? Those ads on TV, right? Yes. People with no hair, people crying, all the misery.
Yes, people dying and blah, blah, blah,
away,
blah, blah,
just
blah.
one thing, do you know what I mean? So that's what it is. So I was really happy for my sister to, you know, being there. So, okay, go home. We're going to outline the plan, what we're going to do.
So what the doctor said?
What the doctor said, it's...
After you did all the thingy and he said,
so
okay,
says,
it's breast cancer.
It's breast cancer. It was quite early. We saw two types. So the one on the right-hand side was non-malignant. It wasn't dangerous, but it was 5 centimeters. It was big.
So it was big, but not very super...
And funnily enough, you know, another thing is if you find something weird in your breast and maybe the doctor suggests just one type of a test, right? The mammogram, which they send you to as well, if on the mammogram only one of these things was visible, the other thing was on ultrasound. So we've got different types of tumors, so may not be visible through the same thing. So
you have to get through different
So
tests.
if you're being directed to just one thing, but something is not right, and you try and push to have ultrasound and mammogram,
all right,
to see,
or whatever it takes,
just to make sure that, you know. So
yes. So
he says, okay, we're gonna have to definitely have surgery. We're gonna have to have that removed.
Sorry, surgery first, and then
surgery, and then we'll see.
Chemio.
Because another thing is, they don't really know how bad things are until they open you up. Okay,
all right.
So from what he could see from the tumors, we're going to do surgery. We're going to get rid of that tumor. We're going to get rid of these, and then he said, we'll see then when we're going to do biopsy of those tumors. Then we'll decide whether you're going to need chemotherapy or radiotherapy, whatever. Okay. Now, I was at the point when I actually, especially knowing that there was something on this side, I straight away said to him, I mean, obviously, we're not going to be here for hours, so I'm cutting a bit, kind of all my turmoil in the middle, but I said, I'm not attached to my breast, they're attached to me. So I said to him, if you need to get them
get
both
rid
off,
of it.
Get
rid of it. Yeah,
okay.
Get rid of it.
But the point was, because it was going private, I could only do what the insurance was paying for, okay?
Yes.
Or I would have to, you know, wait for NHS. So the insurance would not allow me to do mastectomy on both sides, okay? So I said, okay. He said, we're going to go into this one. We're going to try and save it. But I said, okay, try and save it if you can save whatever is inside. But if something looks just too bad, I don't mind, get rid of it. Right. So he said, okay, so I've got your permission. We'll get rid of it and we'll straight away put an implant in that one, okay? Right. Because there was one thing, it was kind of, when you have a surgery with an immediate reconstruction, if then you have to have radiotherapy, not chemotherapy, but radiotherapy.
you cannot have
there
it.
is always a risk of the implant going hard, and then you're having to go and exchange it.
Because of the radio waves, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
But he said, I think we're going to be fine, so let's go, because
The doctor felt okay with it.
I wasn't sure how I would feel. I was really feeling strong and kind of like, I'm the kind of person who, if I've got a plan, I can then focus on that, and I'm not going to be sitting around and crying. I just need to deal with stuff.
Yeah, because crying, you can cry, but it's not going to change the situation.
Exactly.
So you can cry, you can scream, but at least move
Yeah.
forward. At least move forward.
But I did say to him, I don't know how strong I'm going to feel if I wake up and I've got one breast and nothing here. There's no reconstruction.
This is like...
Because you don't know mentally how you're going to feel.
No,
right?
you don't.
You can feel great before, you can powerful and strong.
Yeah, but then what happens?
But you just can't, So again, fast forward, surgery done. I wake up.
Surgery done on the left breast.
On both sides.
Straight away.
So on both sides.
So sorry, you said the insurance was just covering one of it.
But then we had a big battle. So that
all right. No.
So
Let's move forward.
Okay,
you got it. You got it done.
They agreed for me to have the tumor removed, but they wouldn't agree to have the mastectomy.
To have the mastectomy. Okay, fine. Yeah. Let's move forward.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I wake up, puking green with the radioactive stuff.
Fantastic.
I go to the bathroom to check what I look like, still bandaged up or whatever. It was funny because I looked at myself and I said, I think he got the wrong sides. Because the one that was supposed to be taken off was huge. And the one that was supposed to be tumor removed, or like not, I don't know what it was going to be, it was like small. What's going on? You forget that you've got an implant, this is all swollen. But
so
anyway,
needs to slowly
yes,
move back
exactly.
Okay.
So anyway, it was all good. I was fine, and he came in and he said to me, "We discovered another type of cancer in there that we couldn't see through any other test." So it was basically. It was a circus in there. So we said, I'm really happy that you had agreed for mastectomy because I couldn't save anything, even if I wanted to.
All right.
Okay, it's all done.
That's it. Just wait a second. Rest. Drink a little bit of water.
Exactly.
Wow, that is pretty intense.
Yes.
And obviously in 5-10 minutes you told us what happened mechanically.
Yes.
And you just told us just a bit of what happened psychologically, what happened inside. And my question now is, then you got your breast removed and your cancer removed, Did you start a chemo? Did you have chemo after that?
No, that's what I'm just about to say. So the good thing was once we had everything removed and tested, I only had to have 2 lymph nodes removed, so that was good as well. Not much was happening in there. And then he said, I think you might not need chemo or radio. Good. I think we managed to get there early enough. Okay.
Rid of it.
So again, because I had the private insurance, I managed to do a special kind of test when they sent my tissue to America for a special new kind of test, genetic, to tell me what is the percentage. What is the chance of it coming back?
And it was?
And it was very low. So there was basically, I could still say, no, I want chemo just in case. But the doctors were saying, you're going to,
kill your
poison
body.
your whole
you're gonna
body.
Kill
and
your
there
body.
is really, so he says to me, you don't need chemo, you don't need radio, so we're all good. But I'm going to be putting you on a medication that's going to get you into menopause, early menopause, because it's my cancer was.
How does it work?
My cancer was the one that was estrogen positive. So
estrogen
the very
positive.
simple way they explain it to you, very simplified, is that it feeds off estrogen.
Okay.
So the way they're going in is they give you a medication that blocks estrogen receptors, so you produce estrogen, but you can't use it.
Therefore
comes into menopause.
We need to stop.
But stopping here for a second, because I don't want this to be just a story. I want this to be slightly helpful.
And you know what I want? I can't wait for you to finish.
Yeah.
And tell us, how did you manage then to get back to life and training and
But before even we get there, at the hospital, I wake up from the surgery, and towards the end of the very same day, a physio comes in. And I was like, I think you're in the wrong room. I only just woke up. He says, no, we have to do range of motion straight away, slowly.
Beautiful.
Which is great.
Beautiful.
Right?
Beautiful.
And it seems like, oh my God, my stitches are going to open up. No.
Shut up. Let me do my job.
Three times. So he left me with like a chart of the simple exercises used on the wall, just going slowly.
Pushing,
exactly.
yes.
Because another thing is, apart from, because I was being open from the
sternum,
breastbone,
sternum,
all the way outside.
Down here,
all the way down. So that was all up, and then
right.
you had the opening around this side. So there was some extensive scarring, and also I had to drain. So I had that much plastic thing inside me. So I had one hole here. One for a week. I had this thing under, walking with a bag with 2 bottles of crap draining in there. Right.
Fantastic. Beautiful.
So, fantastic. So he said to me, the physio, 3 times a day.
Okay.
Couple of minutes. Do it religiously, and if I can say one thing, do it. Yes. Any kind of, whether it's cancer, whether it's breast augmentation of any sort,
whatever,
do it, because it's going to be a game changer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that was the physio then.
And once again, movement is the medicine. Once again.
And they were also saying that because I was so fit, it was the whole recovery was going to take quicker.
Yes.
Because another thing was, after the surgery was over 8 hours. Right? So I was under full anesthetic for 8 hours. So it took me longer to recover from the anesthetic side effects, because I would just, if you do exercises with you or anyone else, if you kill 45-minute, 1 hour workout and you're dead, you sit on the sofa, you nod off, you think you've exhausted. You've got no idea what a proper fatigue is, where the body literally shuts down, because it needs to put all the resources for you to heal. Yes. So about a few days after the operation, I was at home. I was in a hospital for a week, and I got home. I felt great. And I said, I'm going to go do a little shuffle a bit slowly. I got to Waitrose, and then I stood in front of my trolley, and I said, I can either push a trolley or think about what I'm buying. I can't do both at the same time. And then I left the trolley, and I said, how am I going to get home? It was only about 5 minutes walk. I got home and slept for 4 hours after this.
Even that was like super challenging.
It took a good month to you could only walk around the house or right outside close to home. So because you will be fine, and midway through the sentence, the batteries would run out. And you're just like, recovery is very important. Okay. Even if you think you're fit, what? I'm a spin instructor. I will not get a fatigue. Yes, you will.
When did you start training?
So,
how? When? What happened?
So because I had my operation in the middle of summer and it was super hot, and where the lump was so close to the skin, this bit just refused to heal properly. So it was kind of keeping wet.
So it was like slowing the healing process.
So spinning was good anyway. I was teaching. I wasn't working in the office. I was working from home for a bit. But at gym, I started going to the gym to teach off the bike, purely because I was worried about the fatigue also, but also I didn't want to sweat around the area. So I went about 5 weeks after the operation. I was teaching without riding the bike.
You were just moving around, motivating them.
Because another thing is, you've got a reason to come out of the house. Yeah, okay. So kept with my physio things, and went to the gym just to teach off the bike. Started going on the bike slowly, but again, the fitness, the body was just pulling all the resources to the healing.
It makes sense. But and how long did it took for you to just off the bike?
Off the bike was probably about 2-3 weeks, because I was itching to get on this for a bit. One song.
All right.
One song.
So then you tried after 2-3 weeks.
Yes.
All right.
Now the problem was, then spinning was one thing. I can teach it off the bike, but when we taking it on into fitness or trying to go back to what you did before, or so when you have mastectomy, when you've got such huge scarring, you don't even realize that your body is trying to protect itself, and you kind of go like this. Right?
You don't want
unless you
compensate. You compensate.
Exactly. You don't know unless you consciously think, what is my shoulder doing, and you realize it's like here. Okay. So that's why the simple range of motion exercises were very important.
They helped you.
Yes. But then when it came to trying anything different, because of the way my implant is positioned, my implant is under the pecs.
Under the pecs,
Okay.
so intramuscular.
So every time I use my pec, and you don't realize how much you use them for anything.
Life in general.
Until every time you use it, it squeezes the implant, it flattens it up, and you basically feel it because you've got a foreign body underneath it. It's just you constantly are aware of that side of your body. Not even this part. When you're cold, when you walk down the street and you shiver, your pecs are going. So it was very hard not to think about it constantly. And any kind of exercise you do, you feel like, because it's this breast stays normal, this one flattens into a pancake or goes into. And I was never a kind of person. I wasn't worried about it from the aesthetical point of view at all. I wasn't worried about what people are gonna. I couldn't care less. It was purely, you don't know your body anymore. It's not your body. It moves.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Who cares about people?
No, I know, but what I'm trying to say,
no,
it wasn't.
No.
Yeah.
I am on your side. I'm telling them.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't care about people.
Yeah.
They don't care about us.
No.
So why do we have to care about them?
Yeah.
And even if they do care about us,
No.
who cares about them again?
Yeah, you have to be very and think about just yourself, very egoistical when it comes to healing. Anything that's going to get you sorted, the only thing that counts.
I think the words that you use, being egoistic or selfish, and I prefer to say you gotta love yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you that sounds pretty obvious, Captain Obvious. If you don't love yourself, and if you don't know how to love and respect yourself first, you're not gonna be able to love other people.
No.
You gotta love yourself first, and then you will be able to love, not being addicted to people. That it is completely different.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
I just thought I would have, because I understand because you say being egoistic.
Yeah.
Or being,
No, because when it comes to like training or like who you. Another thing is, if you get diagnosis, there will be people, if you reach out, there's a lot of people who wrote books, write blogs on. And it's also like, even like with personal training, what works for one is not going to work for another. You need to find your own way. Some people prefer not to tell anyone that they don't have to say it to. I was telling, if I went to a coffee shop and someone asked me how I was, I said, I have got cancer. Because I didn't care about them. Yeah. I needed
let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go.
It needed to sound like a normal thing to me.
Yes, and so it weigh a little bit less on your back. It's like you're literally throwing 1 kilo here, 1 kilo there, and you start from 100 kilo on your back, and then you go from 90, 80, 70, 60.
So it's very important to find your way and not let anyone tell you, no, you should be doing it this way or you should be doing it this way. Because it worked like that for me, it's going to work like that for you. It's like with dieting, it's like with exercise.
Same.
We're so individual. Life, exactly.
Life in general.
Yeah, so my kind of thing to say to people is, if you had something like mastectomy with reconstruction or without, yes, your body moves differently. You're aware of something you were not aware before. Right, okay, cool. Every little movement you're aware of. If you try to lie down on your front, it feels like you're lying on one stone.
Wow, okay. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, it makes sense. Everything in general, every movement that you used to do simply, in a simple way, now it not only gets harder, but now you are, as you said, aware. You feel it.
And it feels very alien. It's like...
Yeah, it's like you have this kind of thing like staying there, and it's like...
And you hope every morning, maybe tomorrow when I wake up,
it's going to get better. And I'm not going to feel it. I'm not going to feel it.
I'm not going to pay attention to it. It's going to be,
It's still there.
It's still there.
Okay. Let's talk about working out. Yes. Now that was beautiful. It was a beautiful trip. I was, when you were like talking and speaking about this breast cancer, I was traveling with my mind, and I was pretending how would I've reacted to that. Me discover like prostate cancer or whatever, or cancer in general. And obviously every time I say cancer, it's like I feel like a hammer, boom, cancer. boom, is a heavy word, as we said. This is gone by. She's one of my clients. She's training with me. She's following a protocol, a program, and blah, blah, blah. We're doing good so far. I always said that the programs are a work in progress because we gain stronger every week, every month, every year. So we need to readjust and adjust because we gain stronger and we gain better, or something is not working, so we can change it. I want to know if nowadays, right now in this period, how do you feel about training? And if you suggest to people that had the same experience as you, or not suggest. Do you think training, working out, moving, doing sport, on a scale from 1 to 10, how important it is? So let's start first. How's your training going?
Yeah, training is going fine.
Apart from training with me, that I'm the best, and I know, but it's totally fine. I'm saying, no, how do you feel when
I'm going to have the very important 5th birthday this year, because the 5 years post-surgery clear is the first major step. So far we're going fine. In July, it's going to 4th of July, the Independence Day, is going to be 5
American
years.
Independence, yeah.
Movement has been crucial. Any type of movement from the very beginning to the end. The training with you is going with the program is going fine. Right. It has got obviously its challenges with everything as life happens. 5 years later, I still am very much aware of that thing when I move. It hasn't gone away. But one thing that I would say, you need to accept your new body, okay, and learn to kind of
love it,
because at the end of the day, it might not look as it looked before. You might think that this is far from what it was or what you would like it to be. But at the same time, when you realize what it's done, that what the doctors have done and how the body, like my scarring is barely visible, and I was open up all the way, right? So getting to know, and what might help, some people might find it hard, is actually standing in front of the mirror without your clothes on, and kind of.
For you it works.
At least for me, For some it might work. Just to, get used to it. If you struggle with this, there is help out there. As in, you can go and have oncology massage. So you can have a massage, but with therapists who are used to oncology patients. So even if you had chemo or radio, they will know what to look out for, what not to do,
Specialists.
Exactly. Yeah. And I also had a lot of sessions of what is called a scar tissue therapy. So a massage that helps you, helps the scars to kind of heal better, disappear.
So it helps the skin.
Exactly. Helps the skin and stuff. Because remember, you say skin, that's what I was thinking, because scar, you think that's what I see, right? But they had to cut through everything. The scar is all the way in.
I know.
You're thinking about what you see.
You see just about here.
But the muscle and everything's been cut, right? So if you struggle accepting your own body and being able to touch your new body the way it looks, maybe going for something like that. When you've got a professional, a therapist,
they're going to help you.
Because one thing that it seems to be working for most people is that you feel like this kind of, not an alien, but you feel like, again, you don't recognize your body, blah, blah, blah. Touch is very important. So if you actually get someone like a third party, like a professional, who you don't have to be worried about that they don't know what they're doing because they're qualified in your particular situation, and having just gentle massage. I'm not talking sports massage, I'm not talking, destroying your body. Literally for the relaxation, because when you go for a massage and you secure, you're safe, you feel, you trust your therapist, you also realize how tense your body was from all the protecting, all the compensating. So I would definitely recommend trying stuff like that. And movement, as you know, you've had some experience with people with different types of populations, different conditions.
Yes.
There's always this kind of situation with people who have gone through cancer, especially if the treatment was harrowing, long term. If you couldn't work, if your income has been cut or you don't know when you're going to be going back to work, to find someone who you also trust, because I don't think there's lots of PTs who have enough interest or enough training or experience with people who have gone through cancer. You also worry because, insurance purposes, you don't know what I'm going, right? So it's not something that you can quickly do online. You have to really have an experience, and you have to have the knowledge to back it up. You have to be working with the doctors. You have to have, right?
You gotta talk with your clients constantly. You gotta be there with them. You need, hey, listen, let me know how's it going. Hey, listen, let me talk to the doctor. Hey, listen, let me show your certificate. Hey, listen, let me see your exam. Hey, just tell me what you know, because I need to know. And then, apart from the relationship with your clients, we gotta take the books. We gotta read. We gotta study. We gotta read, and we gotta study and get our certifications.
Yeah, because I would say that even across group exercise instructors, right, there should be an option provided by the gyms one day, right? But you never know.
We'll see.
Those who are interested to go and do so, because there are a lot of people who don't necessarily like me are so open about what they've gone through. But if there is a group exercise class, they don't necessarily want to go up and say, "Oh, I've had," right?
Yeah, they just go straight away because the option is there.
If there is like a class or there isn't a trainer that you've got at the gym, a bio saying, "Oh," and they've got experience, so you just go for that person. Or you can go and take that class because they will be understanding. They will know how to modify stuff for you. They will know.
Also psychologically, you're helping them, because it's right what you're saying. When you give another chance, another option, it's easier for me that I'm probably not like you, that it's okay for me to share. I just go there. I just click it. I just book that class. That's the option for people with cancer or whatever, and I just go there. I feel it's easier for me, and I think, first of all, I'm loving this. I am absolutely loving it. No, seriously, on a serious note, I am loving it. And it's hard for me to say. Whenever it comes to cancer, right, or big illness, it looks like the world is not ready yet to embrace this.
On every day.
Yeah, on a daily basis. When you are on a wheelchair, right, in London, it's pretty normal that on the pavement you got the little downhill thing, right? The ramp, right? You can go. All the buses. Driver, we got a man on the wheelchair. The bus, boom. In Italy, it doesn't really work like that, right? You know that, right?
I know that.
Yes, we are evolving, finally. But
very often even the pavements are not wide enough for a wheelchair. And
you find the man with the wheelchair like, where the fuck am I going now? Mm-hmm. Or do I have to call now? Do I have to move all the way back and take another route and follow another path? So I think we need to make the world a little bit more sensible or sensitive. I don't know which one to use in this case. To understand that there are people in need. And they didn't choose to have cancer. Or they didn't choose to just get completely paralyzed down here. I'm just saying this too because those two are the ones that are coming in my mind. We need to be kind, not just us, the people that they are the government, the big people. They need to understand we need help.
Yeah.
We need help. And so if it comes from there, from the top, it's going to be easier for us, normal human being, to follow, right? We need to be more sensitive in this.
Because I think there is still some kind of thinking that it doesn't happen to that many people, so maybe it doesn't warrant to have that many specialists. Cancer now is happening to 1 in 3 people. It's practically, if I'm talking to you, and you don't have it, then one of us got it, and it's actually true in this situation. Yeah. So the same thing, like I work with people with Parkinson's, and again the same thing is like, there's not many fitness programs available because because there's not maybe that much need for it. Yes, there is. It's just that these people don't necessarily go and cry in front of the gym because they can't get up the steps. They don't even arrive there. But with the cancer as well, when I went for one of the hospital where I went to held like workshops or like a talk about some nutrition and fitness. Right. I was like, yeah, let me go, let me see. I was probably the youngest person in there. There was a lot of people probably in their 60s, obviously different types of cancer. And I was the only one who did not go through chemo. All of them, they either had chemo or radio. All right. So that's even more, so much more taxing on your body, right?
Yeah, obviously it is.
And you see, I was having so many expectations. I'm going to learn something, they're going to tell us where to go. And it was just such a wishy-washy, yeah, you have to exercise. And then someone said, but I've got after my chemotherapy, I've got neuropathy, which is like lack of losing feeling in your feet. So I shuffle, I struggle walking. So what can I do? I can't comment on individual cases.
So why am I here?
So right. Why am I here? All these people who wanted to do better for themselves, but they either they felt like they were too old or they didn't have the access to the gyms. They were still left with no possible solutions, no suggestions. So move, do what? If you're in your 60s, you've never been to the gym, you never had, apart from walking, what are you going to come up with yourself? Do you know what I mean? So that's when I was getting so angry that an average person...
That moment you felt quite lucky to know what to do, and then you realize how normal people that probably don't train or don't work out usually or generally,
they wouldn't even know where to start. Because yes, once you've got some knowledge, you can then even at home use simple things and do. But if you've got no idea, where are you going to start? So again, I'm not trying to put anything else on NHS. I think this is something that wider fitness business, fitness gyms should start looking into as in a way of expanding. Because there are degrees, there are courses to do that. But obviously, I don't know, you're not really a group exercise instructor, but group exercise instructors are not paid much. And we're not getting paid extra or more if we want to do something that no one else does. So you have to put yourself through a degree and you're still going to get paid the same amount of money as before. So there is no incentive unless you find someone passionate who will do it because they really feel like they want to do it and they don't care that they're not going to get paid much for it. So if it came from the top, let's expand. Let's go do more classes for all the population as in 70s and over. 50s is not all the population.
No, but not the 70. I think older is just a state of mind.
Yeah, but you see, we know what I mean. That kind of
but they don't. No. I'm just trying to figure out how we could do something, but the we, he has to be not just we, me and you. No. He has to be like pushed. It is something that is not simple. But I think nowadays that we said 1 in 3 people got cancer, I think it's the time to move our asses, right? Come on, guys, let's do something. Okay, so we mentioned menopause before.
Yes.
So the doctor said we need to do these things and we're gonna treat your... Is it hormones? Is it the estrogen, right?
It's the medication that blocks the hormone receptors.
Okay, so yes, please. Okay. What happened then?
So yes, the one thing just to mention that I love my surgeon. He's done a great job. And he is not a menopause specialist. But the only thing he said when he said, this medication is going to put you into menopause, that means fertility issues. I don't know your situations. Are you bothered about it? I was like, no, I don't care. Okay, let's do it. What he did not mention, he did not advise me to read up on menopause. There was no menopause help nurse or whatever available. So I just thought this menopause thing... Your period's going to stop. Your periods are going to stop, and you're going to basically go into menopause, and you're not going to be able to have children. I thought that was it.
And it's not like that.
No.
What is it?
I had my periods all the way through the last 5 years, like clockwork, which never happened in my life before. Wow. But I had the gift of menopause that keeps on giving. I had insomnia, anxiety attack, heart palpitations. Horrible joint pains. My hip hurt so much I couldn't sleep. So basically, if you look through menopause possible symptoms, I had them all, urinary tract infections, everything. But I didn't know that this was menopause.
So they didn't inform
I was going with every single one thing to the doctors. I've got this, I can't sleep. I've got this, I can't. And the GP wasn't joining the dots either, right? Only when I got into, I found this app that's called Balance, Menopause Balance, and it lists all the symptoms, and then you can track them, and then you realize, and then you can do a report. And I would do a report every few months, and I would go to my oncologist, and I would say,
show it,
look, I couldn't get up from the bed without holding on to the headboard. I was in so much, if the doctors tell you have to do exercise, but your joints hurt so much that you think you've torn something.
Oh, because of the
But it's all because
of
the estrogen receptors are everywhere. And estrogen, if it's not allowed to do its job, everything just crumbles. So my point is, menopause is getting a lot of talk now, a lot of talking time, which is great. But if you had chemo or radio or have been put on one of the medications and the word menopause was mentioned, as soon as you can, try and educate yourself on it. I would say download the Balance app so you know what to look out for. You might be getting on fine, or you might be getting all those little things.
But
so
at least
then,
you're listing them.
Exactly, because this is not going to be dealt with your oncologist. You're going to go to your GP with these things. So then you say, okay, is there anything you can give me for this? Or, again, because being on that medication, I could not take hormones. I could not take HRT because this would be going opposite the medication. Yes. So there are ways, things I would advise ladies to look into is called adaptogens, which are herbal things that mimic hormones. So if you find something that you think you want to take, just check with your oncologist if there's anything that interacts with the medication you're on. Is there anything, don't just trust Google. Whatever you find, just...
That's why we have specialists.
What I found, I went to my oncologist saying, I want to take this. Is there an issue? He said, no, go for it. If it helps, it helps. Good. So please educate yourself, because your surgeon is not going to be a menopause specialist.
Yeah.
And
it might be, but in
your
case
know more,
it wasn't.
But it wasn't. So please educate yourself, because the symptoms are very. All those symptoms might also be side effect of chemo.
Yes.
So it's kind of they kind of mimic each other, but watch out, look out, so you can help yourself. Yeah,
it's basically you don't really know what is happening because a lot of things has been happening on your body. So you're like, what is that?
Yes.
The chemo or that. Oh, exactly. I'm training, as we said. Yeah. Okay, fine, fantastic. It was a pleasure, big pleasure to have you here. But before we finish, what is this?
I'm going to plug my book. So when I was thinking about writing a book about teaching indoor cycling for years.
She's a superhero. She's basically a superhero.
No, listen, guys. So I was thinking about writing. I was making notes. I was, but always too busy with stuff, with classes, with doing this, doing that, another course. And then when I got cancer, and when I got home,
best time,
right? And I was, this is the moment. Like, what are you waiting for?
Let's go for it.
You just don't know how many days, months you've got. What are you waiting for?
Because we think life is forever.
Especially being in London, you want the hamster wheel, you do this, right? So in the recovery, before I went back to the office, I just sat down for 3-4 hours a day in the local cafe.
All right.
Got it out.
And you got it done.
Found a publisher. And it's a book that I wrote for especially new group exercise instructors. Spin instructors are group exercise instructors. Someone who starts in a business that's especially useful for. It's a lot of stories. It doesn't have class plans or anything. It's literally what you need to take with you to your classes, how to deal with stuff when you've got someone in your class who you start in the class and you realize they don't have shoes on.
Beginner guide?
Beginner guide ideally, but if you've been teaching for years, it's just a collection of and a collection of hilarious stories. Okay. It's all tales from the studio. So it's available anywhere. It's Ride and Shine.
We're gonna just put the link down there, and we're gonna put all of the links of Isa, the Instagram, the Facebook page. Guys, do not forget to subscribe to my channel, put the likes, leave a comment if you like the interview, And again, bye bye, and I'll see you next week for Diego Salotto episode number 4. Bye
Thank you.
bye.